Welcome back! Today we're diving into what might be the most important camera leaks of 2025. Sony is preparing to announce not just a new camera body, but also a brand new lens that could reshape how creators shoot both stills and video. That's right, we're talking about the long-awaited Sony A7V and the upcoming Sony 100mm f2.8 GM macro lens. Now, these two products have been floating around the rumor mill for months, but it finally looks like things are coming together. The specs are taking shape, the leaks are consistent, and multiple industry insiders believe we are only weeks away from an official announcement. But instead of just rattling off a quick rumor recap, I'm going to go much deeper in this breakdown. We'll look at the leaked specs and features of both the A7V and the new macro lens, how these fit into Sony's existing alpha lineup, what kind of improvements we can realistically expect compared to the A7V and older models, how Sony's strategy compares to Canon, Nikon, and Panasonic in 2025, and finally, who these products are really for, and whether they'll be worth the investment. By the end of this, you'll have a clear picture of whether the Sony A7V or the 100mm f2.8 GM macro deserves a spot in your kit bag this year. The lens comes first, Sony's new 100mm f2.8 GM. Macro, let's actually start with the lens, because according to the most reliable sources, Sony is going to announce the 100mm f2.8 GM macro before the A7V body itself. Now, you might be asking, why a new 100mm macro? After all, Sony already has the FE 100mm f2.8 STF GM OSS, which was launched way back in 2017. That lens was unique because of its apodization filter, designed to give silky, smooth bokeh. It became a cult favorite for portrait shooters who loved the creamy background separation. But here's the thing, it wasn't a true macro lens. The STF design limited its close-up capabilities, meaning it was more of a creative portrait lens with defocus control built in, rather than a serious tool for insect, product, or nature macro photography. For years, Sony users have been asking for a dedicated, professional-grade macro prime in the mid-telephoto range. And now, it looks like Sony is finally delivering expected specs for the 100mm f2.8 GM macro based on consistent leaks. Here's what we're expecting. Focal length, 100mm, the classic sweet spot for portraiture and macro. Maximum aperture, constant f2.8, bright, versatile and perfect for low light. Series G Master, and meaning Sony's top-tier build quality, coatings and optical precision. True macro, 1.1 magnification. This time, we're getting a real macro lens, not just marketing talk. Autofocus, dual linear motors, promising fast, silent, and accurate AF for both stills and video. Optical performance. Based on Sony's GM history, we should expect corner-to-corner sharpness, minimal chromatic aberration, and excellent color reproduction. Why this lens matters for portrait shooters. 100mm is an incredibly versatile focal length. It gives you flattering compression, more separation than an 85mm, but not as extreme as a 135mm. For macro photographers, this could be a dream lens. Expect to see close-up shots of flowers, insects, jewelry, food, and even product photography, with the kind of precision and bokeh that G Master lenses are known for. This lens also shows Sony's lens strategy. In 2025, we've seen them updating older GM lenses with new coatings, better motors, and lighter builds. So this isn't just filling a gap, it's potentially setting a new benchmark for macro primes in the mirrorless era. The main event, Sony A7V. Now let's move to the product everyone's been waiting for, the Sony A7V. The Sony A7V was launched in late 2021 and became one of the most popular hybrid cameras of the last generation. It was the go-to choice for YouTubers, wedding photographers, travel vloggers, and hobbyists who wanted a balance between professional features and affordability. But here we are, 4 years later, and the camera world has changed dramatically. Competitors like Canon's EOS R6 Mark II, Nikon's Z6 III, and Panasonic's S5 II series have all raised the bar. To stay ahead, Sony needs to deliver a camera that doesn't just keep up, it sets the new standard. And that's exactly what the A7V is rumored to do. Leaked Sony A7V. Specs. Here's what's being whispered across the industry. New sensor. Unlike the A7 IV, which reused the A7 III's sensor design, the A7V is expected to debut a brand new 33mm full-frame sensor. This means improved dynamic range, low-light performance, and better video readout speeds. AI autofocus. Borrowing from the flagship A7RV and even the A1, the A7V will feature AI-powered subject recognition. This includes humans, animals, birds, cars, planes, and potentially even insects. Autofocus accuracy is expected to be one of its biggest selling points. Body and ergonomics. Redesigned to be closer to Sony's flagship bodies. With improved button layouts, better grip, and more weather sealing, electronic viewfinder, EVF. A 5.0 m.EVF, a major upgrade over the A7i4, which had a 3.7 m.EVF. This puts it in line with higher-end models, making it far more comfortable for professionals. Video features 4K at up to 120 FPS, 10-bit 4.2.2 internal recording, and advanced heat management. This is crucial for creators who push their cameras for long-form video. Price. Expected around $2,900 to $3,000 USD at launch. More expensive than the A7iView, but cheaper than the A7RV, and far below the flagship A1. Why the delay? So why did it take Sony so long to release the A7V? Industry insiders suggest that global trade policies, supply chain disruptions, and manufacturing priorities caused delays. Importantly, this wasn't because of technical problems. The camera itself is said to be fully ready. The timing may also be strategic. By holding off, Sony allowed competitors to show their hands first, ensuring that the A7V launches into a space where it can dominate. Where the A7V fits in Sony's lineup, Sony's Alpha lineup can be confusing. So let's simplify. A1, the flagship 50MP global shutter, insane speed A9 III, sports monster, first with global shutter A7R resolution king, subject for landscapes and detail-heavy work, 7S3, low light and video specialist, 12MP optimized for cinema A7IV, the hybrid mainstream workhorse, 33MP.A7V, the new sweet spot hybrid, replacing the A7V and appealing to a massive range of creators. The A7V is expected to be the go-to choice for those who want better autofocus than the A7V, more reliable video recording than the A7 III, a professional-feeling body without paying $6,500 for the A1 market context. Why the A7V matters in 2025. To understand why this camera is so important, we have to look at what Sony's rivals are doing. Nikon Z6 III recently gained traction thanks to its stacked sensor and impressive autofocus. Nikon has been clawing back market share. Canon EOS R6 Mark II. Still a favorite hybrid camera, though limited by Canon's tighter lens ecosystem. Panasonic S5 II and S5 IIX introduced phase detect autofocus, finally fixing Panasonic's biggest weakness. The competition is fierce, and the mid-range full-frame market is the battleground. Sony knows this, and the A7V could be the camera that keeps them on top. Pricing and value, the Sony A7iV launched at $2,500 USD. The A7V is expected to launch closer to $3,000 USD. That's a price hike, but when you compare it to the A7RV 3900 or the A1 6500, the A7V still looks like a relative bargain. If Sony truly nails the autofocus improvements, video upgrades, and ergonomic refinements, this will easily be one of the best bang-for-buck full-frame hybrids of 2025. Who should consider buying the A7V? Here's who this camera is perfect for. Wedding photographers, great mix of speed, resolution, and low light ability. Videographers and YouTubers, 4K 120p, 10-bit color, AI subject tracking. A dream setup for solo creators, travel photographers, smaller and lighter than flagship bodies, but still extremely powerful. Enthusiasts upgrading from the A7 III. If you're still using the A7 III, this will feel like a massive leap forward. Who shouldn't buy it? Probably those who already own the A7RV or A1. You already have more specialized, higher-end tools. Looking ahead, Sony's 2025 strategy. When you put the A7V and the 100mm f2.8 GM macro together, you can see where Sony is heading. More reliance on AI autofocus to make shooting easier and more reliable. More refinement in ergonomics and handling. Addressing long-standing complaints. Filling gaps in the lens lineup. especially in macro and specialty optics. If these rumors are accurate, Sony is about to solidify its dominance in the hybrid full-frame space. Final thoughts. The Sony A7V could easily become the next go-to hybrid camera for a massive range of creators. Whether you're shooting weddings, creating YouTube content, traveling the world, or just upgrading from an older Alpha, this looks like the camera that balances performance, price, and reliability. Meanwhile, the 100mm f2.8 GM macro lens finally gives Sony shooters the dedicated macro tool they've been asking for, while still doubling as an incredible portrait option. If both of these products launch this year, 2025 could go down as one of Sony's strongest years ever in the mirrorless game. So, what do you think? Would you upgrade from the A7IV to the A7V? Are you excited about the new macro lens? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, stay tuned for more deep dive breakdowns into the latest camera gear.